Hey there, dear ones. I have been having so much fun recording this 4-part series revealing the biggest false and hidden stories I hear from my clients. And today we've reached part 3, and these are the stories we tell ourselves often without realizing it that come directly from our wounds and social conditioning. The title of the episodes in this series all reveal the true story, the truth of who we are, the truth of our energy. And today's episode is exploring when my dreams come true, I'll have even more energy. So why don't we go ahead and get right to it? In today's episode, I reveal the false story behind when my dreams come true, I'll have even more energy, where this false story comes from, and how to spot when this false story may be playing in your life. We'll end on an invitation that will have you tapping into the energy boost that your dreams give you so you can fill your energy tank so full that you're overflowing. So please stay with me until the end. Hey there, we're creating a global community of soul-guided leaders, coaches, healers, and entrepreneurs called the Soul Guide Circle. In the Soul Guide Circle, we're inviting in our spiritual gifts to get our clients even more results and transformation and create a massive referral buzz. Find a link to join our closed Facebook group at AllisonScammell.com or in the show notes. Today, we're talking about the false stories we tell ourselves that we often don't even realize we're telling ourselves. And today's false story is the one behind the true story. When my dreams come true, I'll have even more energy. But the story that I hear so often from my clients that we often have playing in our mind without realizing is, if my dreams come true, I'll burn out, or I won't have the energy for my dreams. Or my dreams will drain me because all of that success will be a whole heck of a lot of work. And that's exactly where this false story comes from. The false stories coming from conditioning tell us that success is exhausting. Success means hard work. And in fact, I have to donate many pounds of blood, sweat, and tears in order to earn my success. This is one I really see often in client sessions, that my clients just don't realize that it's a false story playing in their head that they don't detect because it's so prevalent. And let me tell you, I definitely have this false story and have had this false story playing in my head that absolutely thwarts our ability to reach our big dreams, because who wants to burn out? Nobody does. So what ends up happening is we say, all right, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to dream a little bit smaller. I'm going to take my success down a few notches so that my success isn't so much work, I don't burn out, and I can maintain energetic harmony. Here's the big thing that's happening as part of our evolution to higher consciousness. We collectively are evolving away from being driven by material success. And we're evolving towards being motivated, naturally motivated by joy, alignment, love, connection for how we feel. So what that means practically is that experiencing alignment and harmony in our lives is going to be more valuable to us than earning money. Now you might think, well, yeah, great, Allison, but I need to have money to pay my rent and to pay the bills. And I get that. But we're evolving to a higher place of surrender and trust that no matter what happens, Source has got us. And to be able to have that level of trust and connection requires a really amplified connection to the divine. And that doesn't come overnight, but it does come the more that we surrender to Source and surrender to our divine guidance team and that inner knowing, we are always held. Source has always got our back. And when we surrender to that, we know that nothing is more valuable to us than our alignment. So we are motivated by the dreams, the intentions we set that enable us to experience more soul alignment, more energetic alignment, more spaciousness, more joy, more love, more connection, more contribution, more peace. And that is never exhausting. More love, joy, and peace, that's never a lot of work. That kind of success of more joy, love, peace, harmony, that is invigorating. That fills your well. That enables you to fill your well so full that you're giving from the overflow. Because when my dreams come true, I'll have even more energy and alignment and flow and harmony, because that's the true story. So how do we spot when this false story may be playing in your life? Well, simply think about a big dream that you have and just notice if at any point of that big dream, imagine that you've achieved that big dream, it's in your experience. Is there any piece of you that fears it being a lot of work, that fears it draining your energy, that fears burnout? Maybe you've had burnout in the past and you've learned how to overcome it, but maybe you fear the past returning, repeating itself. Notice these fears. I would love to maintain amazing, energetic balance and harmony when I reach my dreams, but does anything come after the but, even if it's very mild or subtle? So for me, when I think about that, I think, I'm a projector. So all of us with open sacrals, I know you're going to get something. So manifestors, projectors, reflectors, I know you're going to get something. And I'm getting, but I don't want to manage a lot of people. I like to manage small, bespoke teams. And I actually like to hand a lot of that particular management off to other people to manage. So somebody else is managing the team and I'm just kind of bopping in and out. I mean, that's the most ideal situation for me. And I think my limiting belief is if I, really scale my business to 7 figures, that's going to mean a larger team and that's going to mean a lot of management of people and that's going to burn me out and drain me. And I know that's a false story. We can all set our businesses up any way we want to. We can have big teams if you're someone who likes to manage people. We can have small teams, or you can have somebody else manage your team if that's not your thing. And maybe your thing is managing people and maybe that's exciting for you. So this is just noticing what false story pops up for you with regards to your dreams being a lot of work, your dreams leading to burnout, because that is simply false. And what we want to do is we want to start healing these limiting beliefs. So noticing what emotions are triggered when your false stories feel true. So in my case, my false story is if I reach the success I want, I'm going to have to manage a big team and that's going to burn me out and leave me unhappy because I don't want to do that. So a big success means big teams. And that makes me feel overwhelmed. That makes me feel exhausted. That makes me feel like I don't want this dream. Get me something else. And I think that's what happens with this false story. It triggers us and pushes us to dream smaller so we won't burn out. So we want to feel those feels, breathe, release, so that we release that trapped energy. We release that blocked energy so that the true stories can come through and we can tap into and really feel the truth of our stories. Because when our stories feel true, that's when we start living into them and they become part of our authentic story, our authentic self. And so the idea is to notice the stories that drag us down. How can we heal those stories, deprogram, decondition from those stories and rewrite them? And then notice the stories that lift us up and feel aligned to our authentic truth. How can we live deeper into the truth of those stories? When my dreams come true, I'll have even more energy. And so deconditioning is going to be a huge aspect of evolving to higher consciousness. So that's why it's going to be so important to have techniques and exercises and simple go-to ways in which you can deprogram and decondition your false stories. I have a simple and profound technique that I share and teach in Soul Blueprint. It is absolutely game-changing. So you can rewrite the stories for good so they don't return. If you're interested in learning more about Soul Blueprint, the best thing to do is hop on my calendar for a quick chat. If enrollment is closed, I can tell you all about it. You can join the Soul List, which is a bonus-filled waiting list, so you can be the first to know when enrollment is open again. There is a link in the show notes to book a quick chat on my calendar, and I can let you know how it all works. All right, my invitation for you this week is to explore into this false story for you. What variation comes up for you of if my dreams come true, I'll burn out. See if you can release any of the blocked energy that might be appearing because of this false story. See if you can take deep breaths and release that out and go back to the truth. When my dreams come true, I'll have even more energy. All right, that's a wrap for this week. I'm very excited to end this 4-part series next week with the absolute biggest false story I believe all lightworkers tell themselves on the daily without realizing it, so you can really recognize it for yourself and turn it around. So you're really, really going to want to tune into next week's episode. It's going to be so powerful. And as always, until next time, may your soul guide the way.